Somebody wants Julian to go down for glorious murder.
I didn't do this.
Why do so many people want to take a swing at that face?
What can I say? I inspire strong emotion.
And it's just a day's work.
It was really a great opportunity to get to know her better and to dig below the surface of the polished and rigid persona that she has created for herself as a protection. You know, I think that's a very human behavior. A lot of us can relate, where it's like, this is the me that I am presenting to the world. This is who I want to be known as. And that's why it's so important for her to, you know, win most of her cases. It's so important for her to be the one that her boss, Suarez, says, hey, you're up for a promotion. And while she acts surprised, deep down, she knows, I deserve this. I work hard. Of course, I'm the best, you know? And so for her world to be completely like turned upside down by this thing that is deeply personal, you know, it takes her back to, you know, making a mistake as a child and being scolded, you know? And so she's punishing herself before anyone else can do it. She tells on herself, you know what I mean? Before anyone else can do it, she takes responsibility for her choices and her path, which is admirable, but because she's not used to doing it as an adult, it's messy. I think at the point that she actually makes the decision to go into his office and let him know, you know, this is my stance and this is what's going to happen, I think she's already played it out in her mind and practiced this moment enough that she knows that in his state of transition, you know, to his new position, and the fact that she's right, and that she knows that he knows that she's right, right? She knows that he has been seeing Vanessa fail, and she knows that if he doesn't agree to this, they will lose. And it's wrong to lose because he did it, right? So again, I am coming in with the confidence of knowing that I'm on the right side of history. I am on the right side of justice. It's not just that I'm confident and cocky and good at my job, but I know that me not doing this will create a guilty conscience, will create a bad reputation for our team. And so it's bigger than me at this point, but this is what I have to do. I have to go in there. You know, I'm going to put on one of my favorite suits. I'm going to let my hair down, and I'm going to show not just my brains, but all the things that make me magnetic in the courtroom and impossible to fail. I'm dropping back into my power at that moment. They both fell into something that they needed for different reasons at that point. And I think on some level, they both understood that it wasn't sustainable. And so it was just kind of like, oh, is this the moment that we knew was coming? Okay, I guess it is, you know, when it comes to like them deciding to just back up from all that, you know. It's like, we can still be, well, not colleagues, right? Because we're not working on the same side, but at least friendly, you know, at least we can have candid conversations about what we do because we have that in common. We're both passionate about our work, and we're passionate about winning. So they have a lot of that in common. I think they just know that this energy, this like intense energy is not sustainable. There's a woman who teaches like mysticism, and I remember her saying something about relationships, romantic relationships, that when you feel butterflies and it's like so exciting and people come together so quickly and it's like amazing right off the bat, more often than not, it also falls away and ends just as quickly and just as dramatically and intensely, because that's not the energy that we ultimately want in our lives for the long term, right? It's not sustainable. It's not waking up peaceful, knowing, oh, this is my person. No, it's like, did he call? Oh my God, what's happening next? Like we're on edge, right? It's almost like fight or flight in the bedroom, you know? So I think they both knew that that's what it was. And then it was just kind of like, all right, I guess, you know, we signed up for this and now we understand what it is, like, and it's done, but we could still be friends, you know, which I like. I think they did make a genuine human connection at the end as well, which is beautiful. I think Andrea has had a hard time with men because the weak ones are intimidated by her and the strong ones are in competition with her. And so she really has learned to rely on herself and to be her own partner, her own cheerleader, her own coach. So for her and Mickey to arrive at a place where she can actually listen, because she doesn't like to listen to anybody, you know what I mean? She's like, what can you tell me? Like and for good reason. You know, a lot of times when she has listened to anyone else, it's blown up in her face. So she's learned to trust herself. But there's something about Mickey that speaks to the part of her that does want to go against the grain, that does want to be creative, that does want to take matters into her own hands, and that does want to put her foot down, you know? And so at the end, even if she had already been saying to herself, this is the last day of purgatory, I can't do this anymore, she didn't take action until Mickey affirmed that voice and said, you know what you got to do. And so I think she was surprised by how much she responded to that, like, masculine encouragement. And, you know, she was like, wow, I didn't realize I needed to be affirmed by anyone, much less a man. But thank you so much, Mickey, new friend. Thank you for seeing me, believing in me, and for giving me that extra nudge that I needed to actually do what I said I was going to do. I think she would know that it had nothing to do with him, that it was planted. I think that she would leap to his aid and yeah, just, I mean, they like to call lawyers sharks who are, you know, who just stop at nothing to get what they want. And I think Andy has that in her where it's like, oh no, this has gone too far. You know, I get it. You know, like when he walks out after kind of getting his client to like kind of beat him up in the courtroom a little bit so that he could get the case dismissed. And she says when she sees him outside, like, why does everyone want to take a swing at that face? So she knows that there's something about him that, you know, it seems like a target sometimes, but this is too far. Now it's gone too far. And this is unacceptable. And she would be right there by his side as a friend, making sure that they got to the bottom of who did it. I would like to see, oh, wait, hold on, I can't say that.
Yes, I have to know what that was.
What did I say? Okay. I would like to see the aftermath of her winning this case, putting this murderer, right, the domestic violence guy behind bars, and for her to get that promotion, right? So now she is head of major crimes. And as the head, she has begun an initiative to make sure that there are new chapters written in these textbooks that are training people to come into the system that cover all of our bases and ensure that the right people are getting put behind bars and that the wrong people are not. I think she does a deep dive into these stories that are so common of people being in jail for 20 years, their whole lives, that are innocent. People coming out after the fact saying, yeah, I lied. Meanwhile, you completely took away this person's life, And so she is wanting to really do some surgery on the system from a place of not tons of power, but more power than she's ever had.